to the last 10 strokes or so, and this was happened, and this was really one of the first highlights of this day. Here we are with the start list of the final B of the women's 8. 8 eights have been entered into this event. The first 5, so we see the A final later on, will qualify for the Beijing Olympics. So this time it's about the ranks 7 and 8, and the race is going to be raced between Ukraine and Germany. Here we have the Germans, a young crew, development crew, I would say. Some experience though in the boat, with some former junior world champions in the pair and in the 8 on board, some under 23 world champions as well. Only 3 rowers remaining, plus the coxswain from last year's 7th placed crew. So 18 meters long, about 95 kilos heavy. This is the 8. The rowers, what do you think of the weight of the rowers would be? About 70 in average, maybe 75? No, 70 in average probably in the heavyweight.
I'm doing
8.
my metric conversion, but
oh,
yes.
Right, I'm sorry. Yeah. so Stone, give me Stone.
Yeah.
Here we have the German stroke woman. That's Ulrike Sennewald, a great rowing family from the north of Germany, from Rostock. Her sister was very good as well, finished her career already.
And I just learned that her dad rowed in the Olympic 8 in 1992.
Yeah, he was. Hans.
An amazing thing with the Ukrainian boat, doubling 3 rowers in the quad. So they raced yesterday. They finished 6th in the A final, so they did secure an Olympic berth for that boat. But for the women's 8, it's the one final event where making a spot in the final did not secure the spot. These 2 boats are out. They have not earned the Olympic berth, but in the A final later on today that we'll watch, it will be the top 5 that will go through. So they've got that added pressure of trying to qualify in addition to winning a medal at the World Championships. Close look at the coxswain there. She's calling out the attacks, also steering the boat. As we come through the 1,000-meter mark, it's 1 deck, the Ukraine over Germany.
Yeah, of course, these women are there to give everything they have. The Germans are not pleased at all with the performance of their women's sweep squad. The pair also in the B final, and then here we have the 8 in the B final. So there's some work to be done, and these boats have to come through Olympic qualification regatta in May next year.
And a little heartache also for the, well, a great deal actually for the 5 seed in the German boat. Katrin team, she just lost her father very recently of a heart attack. So
also a very good rower. He was a German world championship rower in the late 70s. Also qualified for the Moscow Olympic Games, and of course Germany didn't go there for known reasons.
I actually had a chance to meet and row with this boat. They came out to the West Coast last year on their way to Lake Curapiro.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And
San Diego, I think.
Well, I coach at Stanford, and so we actually did a scrimmage with them. They were training in Sacramento, and so they came and we had a race with them. And certainly, yes, you're right, it's a developing boat, but they're trying to find their stride. I mean, they were 4th in 2009, 6th in 2010, and not making the final is definitely a tough message just 1 year out from the Olympics. About a second between the 2 boats.
Laura Schwensen, the German coxswain, looking to her left, seeing the Ukrainians also working hard to maintain their lead. But, I mean, a deck isn't much in an 8, is it?
No, it isn't. Did you say is or isn't? Because I don't think it's very much.
It was a question. No, it was a question to the expert coxswain of women's 8 racing. So, I mean, what would you say to the Germans at this point? We have still about 900 meters into this race, about 800 meters probably. What would the tactical measure? at this point?
Well, I think I would be looking for a motivational tool right now, too, because get in their heads and give them something to fight for. Give them a sense of pride, and this is a dual race, essentially. You can hear everything that's happening in that boat next to you. So if I was thinking of anything, sure, I might make a technical call, but I would back it up with something about, we're going to do this, and this is how far we have to go to get through this boat before this finish line. Let's kick it in.
They're striking nearly identical stroke rates, actually, at this point, with 600 meters to go now. And the Ukraine has made a move. And got to wait a little bit more. Now it's one place more than just a moment ago, I think. So Ukraine leading Germany. No, it's not much more there, 0.5 of a second. So everything in it in race number 205 of these World Rowing Championships. 205 races so far. So that's tough work for all the FISA crew, all the volunteers here around the course. Excellent organization. And here we are with the last 50 strokes of the final B of the women's 8, between Ukraine in the lead ahead of Germany. And here you can see the strain on the faces once more. This is the Ukraine background, and they are trying to make another push.
And you can bet that there is extra strain, because 3 of them have raced many times this week. They had to go to the repechage in the 8, as well as racing all of the races to qualify the quad. So a heat, and they went the heat rep final for the quad, and then a heat rep final for the 8. Wow, 6 races.
Yep, and there's the Germans trying to up their rate, but already the Ukrainians have established now 3/4 of a length over the Germans in this final B. So Anna, Končeva, stroke woman of the Ukrainian 8, has upped her rate much earlier than the Germans did, and that established their decisive move on, about 500 meters to the finish line. We come down to the line with the last few strokes for Ukraine, nearly a length now as we look at the finish of this women's 8B final. Ukraine winning that, taking 7th overall place. The Germans nearly a length down in 8th overall place, finishing 2nd in the B final of the women's. So there's also, I think, a lot of work done not only on the physical side but on the psychological side now to really give these women some encouragement to continue with their career, to really go for the Olympic qualification. This applies for both 8s, of course, for Ukraine and also for the Germans. Well, the Ukraine showing with a mixture of experience and youth. Nina Proskura on back 2 position, born in 1974, and the youngest competitor in 1987.
Both of these boats, I'm assuming, will head to the Olympic qualification regatta next year in May, which will be in Lucerne, and there they will vie for the final spot. There will be, 5 selected here, and then 2 more in Lucerne in May.
Confirmation of the result here. Ukraine